All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football sports talk. Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. Great win for the Auburn Tigers, 60-10 over the Akron Zips. A lot of us, we expected this to happen. I mean, you look at all the prediction shows, all of the coverage concerning this ball game. Auburn was going to score up, was in the 40s, and Akron just wasn't going to score that much. So much so, we got to give a shout out to Derek Mason, because when you look at the Akron Zips, no, they're not a good football team at all. However, they've been able to get some yards on some teams, and if you dive back, Derek Mason actually had the best performance, one of the better performances as far as yards allowed versus Akron than many teams that they played. The last team that allowed Akron less yards than the 188 that Auburn had was Miami of Ohio, who only allowed Akron 145 yards. I think this is a very good indication of where Auburn stands as a defensive football team. The guys played with pride. They played with a lot of tenacity, and they played with a high level of preparation. You could tell they were prepared and they were focused. You were looking at a very disciplined team defensively on yesterday. Now, we're going to talk about the offense a little later on. Matter of fact, I want to do a video concerning. Actually, I want to do two today if I can squeeze them in. But definitely very, very proud of how the defense played. And that looked like some real Auburn football there. You got gang tackling. You got open field tackling. Just a really, really solid performance by the defense. Because what you really have to consider, what you got to consider is in games like these, it's very easy to lose focus and allow a team that is not nearly on your competition level to make certain plays because you're out of position, because you're not focused. Not at all the case with the Auburn Tigers on yesterday. Not at all. Linebacker core played solid. Defensive line played solid. The secondary, super solid. Really enjoyed watching these guys fly around the football field. Now, one of the disclaimers is going to be, well, what's with all the excitement? You only beat Akron. Well, here's where the excitement lies, is that under the previous staff, this game would have been an event. You talk about a situation where you were going to need some scoop and scores and all this other stuff to break the game open. But this was just a straight up planned game plan domination, which was excellent to see. And I think that's what a lot of the Auburn fan base is excited about, is because when you watch what we watched, you saw a well-planned, a well-executed, a synergetic type situation. Synergy meaning everybody working together for the greater good of the situation. And you get a 60-10 win. Auburn could have scored as many points as they wanted yesterday. And that's what we like to see. We want, for once, a team that Auburn was supposed to blow out, they blow them out. That's all we wanted. We'll let the events come when Auburn faces, say, Georgia and the SEC stretch. But teams like Akron and Alabama State, you got to go on and mop them up and give your reserve guys an opportunity to get in the game, which Auburn was able to do. Auburn actually had guys like Jarquez Hunter, Sean Shivers with a nice play, Kobe Hudson with a touchdown, Derek Hall with an excellent game. T.D. Moultrie started to emerge at that buck linebacker position. So it's very exciting to watch all of these guys get a piece of the action. Bo Nix starting to silence some of the critics. Because I'm going to talk about this in another video, so I won't spoil it. But I got some good things to say about Bo. because truth be told, I was probably one of Bo's most consistent critics about mechanics and things of that nature. However, I just, like I said, we'll talk about it though. Really look forward to seeing more out of this defense. One of the better performances against Akron. That doesn't necessarily say much, but it kind of does at the same time, because usually these are the games that it's easy for a defense to be caught slipping, so to speak. Caught slipping with a lot of offside penalties, a lot of miscues as far as mental mistakes, being out of position on tackling. But you could tell that they were very deliberate in how they approached this particular football game. All right, guys, that's my time here. Hopefully do another one before the day is out. Like this video. Make sure we flood the comment section. First week, Auburn football, a major success going into the next week against local opponent Alabama State, who took on Miles College out of Birmingham this past weekend, had needed overtime to win that game. That does not spell anything positive for Alabama State, as if it were going to anyway. Like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. It's always great to be an Auburn Tiger. War Eagle.